Are you looking for the best 2024 NFL bets around? Then get ready for the NFL's Week 1 Moneyline Sports Gambling Podcast. Welcome back to the IDP Plus Moneyline Podcast. My name is Johnny the Greek. Hey, how is everybody doing? We are back to cover some Week 1 bets. I'm here with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the IDP tipster himself, Mr. Gary Van Dyke. Gary, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, we're here. It's week 1. We're almost ready for this kickoff. We got a little bit of college under us, man. I'm raring to go, man. Let's get this. Your game lines, man. I've been craving to get this updated.
Yeah, no, there have been some changes. This is a good thing that we're going back and doing this because a lot of stuff has happened since we last talked about this. Before we do get into it, though, as is tradition, these really aren't even suggestions. We're just talking about the bets we may be making personally. Set a limit and stick to it. For help with problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Gary, you ready to get back into it?
Yes. Once you treat them to your first game, man, we'll get this rolling.
Yes, sir. All right. So we're going to start with the Thursday night game to kick off the season. And I have not changed my thinking on this whatsoever. And if anything, I feel more confident in it. I said under 47.5 a few weeks ago. It's under 46.5 now at -110. I'm sticking with that. Since that point, I did some research on this for the recent article I put out at IDP Plus on best bets for week 1 and found out that not only is this the number 6 and the number 2 overall defense from last season, Baltimore and Kansas City respectively, but through the first 6 weeks of the season last year, all teams were averaging 43.4 points per game combined, which is under the 46.5 we need. And scoring has been down every single season since 2020. That plus all the other factors we talked about last time leads me to not change my mind at all and leave us at under 46.5. Yeah, so that's my call on this one. But Gary's got a pretty good bet here. What's your thoughts on this one, Gary?
Yeah, I'm dragging in some of our prop bets that we talked about with the futures earlier this year too. We did 2 different types of episodes. Make sure you check those out. They're still good, but we're going to mention some of them. You can see a lot of these scrolling across the bottom. These are good, solid bets, folks, or we wouldn't be offering them to you. But I'm taking Roquan Smith plus 900 for most tackles and assists on the year. We talked about this last time with Patrick Queen out of there. I wasn't really impressed with this Trenton Simpson idea or the idea that he'd come in and be like Patrick Queen was last year, which was the first time that they had 2 full-time linebackers to begin with. And now the way the news is kind of playing out, Malik Harrison actually wore the green dot this last time with him and Trent Simpson. So Malik Harrison has been like hovering for years and been on the verge. Maybe this is the year that he gets in there. But either way, I still like this bet. I think we talked about this. I think he was on board with this one too.
Oh, yeah. Always a good bet on Roquan, especially for season-long tackles. And Patrick Queen had, I think it was like 130-something tackles combined last year. So get him out of there. That's a lot more production for Roquan. I'm with it. I could see it. Absolutely.
That secondary group isn't quite the same anymore either.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Should be good.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one right there. So yeah, that's what we're thinking for Chiefs and Ravens. We also have a Friday night game to kick off the season this year. So Packers at Eagles. Eagles are favored by 1.5. Over or under is 48.5 points. Our original call on this was no bet on the game itself. It's kind of a pick 'em. You can see that in the line. You can see that in the spread. And I really haven't changed my mind on that. Nothing I've seen in training camp or preseason leads me to believe enough that Green Bay or Philly is going to win this game that I'd recommend it. What we did recommend was the sack overs, and I believe Rashawn Gary has a very good season-long sack over-under. It's like 7.25 or something. So that's what I would do if you're hell-bent on betting that game, but I'm skipping it personally.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, we did talk about that. And you guys are going to have to check out the other shows. We got IDP, we got offense. We're going to be covering a lot of these that we're going over, and the guys, the whole crew is bringing their own. So make sure you check out that playlist. But yeah, that's a good bet, man. I like Rashad Gary to get him one the first of the week one. Yeah, that would be a good bet.
Yep. Hopefully starts off strong. Absolutely.
Those lines just did come out. I'm pretty sure I seen them for week one, so they were there today. Give them a little bit of time to adjust here, and we'll talk to you in our videos and on YouTube the next few days.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back, for actual week one to do this again as well, and we'll have actual props at that point too. There right now the Ravens and Chiefs IDP props are out, some offensive props are out. Same thing with Packers Eagles, but that's it. None of the other games are out
okay.
yet. So
I knew I've seen some.
I saw them too. Yeah, we'll circle back on that. But yep, good stuff there. That takes us to the first Sunday game of the year. Jaguars at Dolphins. Miami's favored by 3.5. Over or under is 49.5 points. So our original bet on this was Miami minus 3.5, and I have not changed my mind at all. I feel just as good about it, if not better. So Miami was scoring 27.9 points per game last year, which was in the top 10, top 5, I believe, if I recall correctly. So very potent offense, number 1 overall passing offense last year at home in good weather against a suspect Jacksonville defense that Jacksonville themselves only scored 22.2 points per game. That basically gives us the 3.5 we need difference right there. And yeah, this just feels like a no-brainer to me. Miami always starts strong and has an excellent offense that just gets the hell beat out of it throughout the season and slowly gets worse as time goes on. And then when Mother Nature kicks in, it's really not good. So take advantage of Miami week 1, not so much week 12. So any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, take advantage of that 85% hit rate that you had last year when we were doing this. So that's a reason a lot of you are back. Good to go. All right. How about this was actually your pick for tackles and assists at plus 600 with Oluokun. I mean, he's got to be the odds-on favorite after winning, or having the title for the last couple of years to begin with. What, 3 years maybe? Yeah, we talked about how I was betting against the third year last year. I ain't betting against shit now. This is one of those what you would call a kind of a lock kind of bet to back or hedge your bet. How'd you put that before?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm with you. It does feel like kind of a lock. So Foye, overall tackles leader, yeah, at least the last couple of years in a row. I think it was the last 3 years in a row. And then TJ Watt, overall sacks leader, 3 out of the last 4 years. So if you bet either of those guys for, Watt for sacks leader or Oluokun for tackles leader, I mean that's pretty good odds. That's 75% in the last 4 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think I got the description of it now. I think it's like one of those bets. They're the leaders. There's kind of guys you go throw you $50 on there, because the odds are these guys are kind of up there. The rest of these that we bet on, we're looking for paydays and good players, with just as solid as chance. But yeah, they're the favorites. So sprinkling a little dough on their spreads there or on their bets would be a good deal. That's that would be Roquan Smith plus 900 for tackles and assists, or Oluokun for plus 600 for the tackles and assists. Yep,
good stuff right there. All right, before we move it on, just a real quick announcement here. So this is not going to be relevant in a couple of weeks, so get it now while you can. The 2024 IDP Plus Rookie Guide is here, and it's been here. Get the IDP Plus Rookie Draft Guide right now for just $9.99, $10 for a limited time, and get updates every Friday until the season is upon us, about a week away now. Check the link in the show description to download your copy today. All righty, that takes us to our next 1 o'clock game on Sunday, Cardinals at Buffalo. Bills are favored by 7 at minus 110. Cardinals plus 7 at minus 110. Over or under of 48 points. I did not make a bet on this originally in regards to the game line itself. No idea how this is going to go. It's a Cardinals team that's a lot. It's they finally got Kyler Murray back. They're back to their real offense again. Who knows how good Marvin Harrison's going to be? Bill's offense basically changed about halfway through the season last year and became a run first offense. Too many unknowns. So that's what you do with betting. If you're not sure, you just stay away from it and go with something solid. So I don't feel like it's solid, so I don't want to make a bet on it. Our pivot last time was Arizona inside linebacker tackles whenever they do become available on the overs, because last year the Bills were 4th in rushing attempts per game and 7th in yards per game for their rushing offense. So there should be a very good floor of combined tackles for the opposing inside linebackers that the Cardinals have. Any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I mean the one you really want to look for is Kaiser White. He's been off an injury from last year, but he should be their main full-time guy. And believe it or not, Vikings throwback Eric Wilson that's been hanging out up there. He's actually kind of earned the second gig there, so we'll have to look at it. He's probably not going to be a full-time guy, but man, if those lines and those numbers are right, yeah, you're right. We're going to pick on that to make some money. So we'll have to check those out.
Yeah, right. And as soon as next week, we're going to know this, right? Like same time next week, essentially, all those lines will be out, and we'll be able to pick the ones that have some good value. So that is coming very soon.
And all you, what's his name? Opia or something like that. He's like their second year guy down there in Arizona. If you happen to play fantasy football or play big money leagues, he's still worth a stash in some really deep leagues because it shouldn't take too much to pass Eric Wilson here if he's worth anything.
Yes, sir. Good stuff there. All right, so not a ton of confidence in that one money line wise, but this next one I do feel pretty good about, and I've changed my mind on, which is a reason why we're doing this show again, basically, and covering what we covered a few weeks ago, because a lot of stuff has happened since then. So the first time we talked about Titans at Bears, I picked the upset. I said Titans plus 180. If you were going to do this with the spread, it's Titans plus 4.5 at minus 110, Bears minus 4.5 also at minus 110. The over or under for this is 43.5 points. I originally took Titans money line, but since then, DeAndre Hopkins has been hurt and is likely to miss this game. And we've seen Caleb Williams on Hard Knocks, and anyone that's watched that knows that this Bears offense should be exponentially better than it was last year and better than it's been in probably a long time. Years and years and years. They have joined the 21st century when it comes to offense, and they're loaded with playmakers across the board, and Caleb Williams appears to be the truth. So I'm backing right off this. I'm backing right off it, and I'm going to say instead Bears money line, but it does still kind of feel like enough of a toss-up that the smooth move or the best move is probably just to avoid it. But if I had to make a bet on this right now, I'd change it from Titans money line to Bears money line.
That's why you should tune in for updates, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. This stuff, it's like a moving target. This stuff is always moving. So if you see value, lock it in right there. But things change. Injuries happen, promotions, demotions, etc. Stuff happens. So you got to stay on it.
Trades, all kinds of stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. A lot of huge trades since last time we talked. Yeah. The Atlanta defense got quite a bit better. Justin Simmons and what's his face there from the Patriots?
Judon.
Yeah, Judon. Yep. So
Yep.
man, lot of stuff has happened since last time we talked.
Ernest Jones is going to be playing, I guess, in Tennessee, right? Or was it Houston?
Yeah, yep. Ernest Jones over to Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff has happened, and you can see this. It's moved the lines actually in some of these bets. So we'll talk about that as we get to them. Next one we're going to cover is Patriots in Cincinnati at Cincinnati. Bengals are favored by 9. Over or under is 43 points. If you went money line, Patriots plus 320, Bengals minus 410. Our original bet on this was Bengals minus 9. With a high degree of certainty. Not much has changed since then. I still believe that's going to happen. I am a little concerned about Jamar Chase holding in, not holding out. But the way the CBA is these days, he's going to have to play or he's not going to make any money. So he'll be there. That is a worry, though. And since then, we've also learned Jacoby Brissett will be the starter for the Patriots in Week 1, and he's not that great. So I have not changed my mind on this. I still think the Bengals absolutely murder them. -9 is a-okay, totally doable.
Yep. Oh, so this is the interesting one that I found when we was going through these former bets, man. All right, so we'll just start out with the topic, and it's actually for Defensive Player of the Year. Of course, they'll sprinkle a little money towards J.J. Watts. We've already discussed his way because we've already discussed on how for the last few years the main guys winning these Defensive Players of the Year are pass rushers, edge rushers, getting the sacks, and it all kind of goes together. So Watt was like the realistic or kind of give me play. And I like Maxx Crosby. We talked about the fact that at plus 700, I believe it is right now, that he's got Wilkins in next to him, and that tandem's just going to tear it up. So nothing's changed there. All right. So, but what has changed is you had a nice little value pick on this one last time, and it was at plus 2,500. And that line has moved to plus 3,500. So we're talking even a bigger payoff on Danielle Hunter moving over to the Texans. Man, this guy's already been a beast. That's just another reason to sprinkle a little bit more cash on that bet, considering that you just gained a little extra.
Yeah, another plus. So yeah, that's the next matchup we're talking about here, Texans at Colts. I love that because another plus 1,000 on top of the plus 2,500 we're already getting. It means $10 for an extra 100 every time it's plus 1,000, right? So right now, $10 gets you 350 if Danielle Hunter wins Defensive Player of the Year, which is totally doable on that Texans team. To win Defensive Player of the Year, it's a voting thing. It's voted on by the Associated Press. You need to have a competitive team. The Texans are going to be competitive. You need to be an impact player. Danielle Hunter's an impact player, and he's going to have help there with Will Anderson as well. So yeah, that feels great. And I didn't see that. I didn't see that it went up to 3,500. That's awesome. That's great news.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that interior defensive line should help them too. I think they still have a couple of really big, stout veterans in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Really good call right there. And yeah, in just regards to the game line itself, so Texans are at Indianapolis, indoor game, so that's always a good thing, especially for offense. Texans are favored by 1.5. 48 is the over/under at -110 either way. If you want money line, it's Texans -122, Colts plus 102. Originally, we said Houston -1.5 is our pick. I have not changed my mind since then. I feel even better about it since then. So we saw Anthony Richardson play a little preseason, and he threw a pick six essentially immediately to a bunch of backup players. He had a 69.3 QBR. He's still made of glass. He's still probably going to be on IR by week 5. His value in fantasy football is his legs, not his arm. Averaging 15 completed passes a game in Florida in the SEC. That's just not enough. That's not going to do it. That's not enough firepower to hang with this Texans team that is just loaded from top to bottom on both sides of the ball. So have not changed my mind here. Still think the Texans beat them by at least 2 points, likely much more than that.
I'm glad. I was kind of drafting this guy, Richardson, a little earlier in the year, but I managed to back off about the time that the money league started flowing. So I kind of listened to you before, I believe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he'll be a fine fantasy quarterback, but availability is the best ability. If you're hurt all the time because your play style is run into the line and get crushed by a linebacker until you get a concussion, how valuable is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not valuable at all.
Yep. All righty. So before we move on to the next few here, just want to let you guys know that we're not all just pretty faces here at IDP Plus. We have an entire suite of tools and rankings for both offense and defense. Plus, we got rookie rankings, injury trackers, snap tools, premium articles, and more. Right now, get your first month for just $1 using the promo code MOCKDRAFT, all one word, all caps. Head on over to idpplus.com after the show to get ahead of your lazy league mates and start your march towards fantasy football greatness today with the promo code MOCKDRAFT, all one word. Link is in the details in the show description.
And I'm going to highlight the fact that we have a bet tool. It is on site. It's getting primed. The week 1 is out with their odds, so we're getting it already. It's going to be available. It's going to be free for 4 weeks. And you're going to be able to use this. It takes everything you need and helps you, points you towards the right bets. You're going to have to check that out. I'm going to be living in this thing, man. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait till this thing is primed. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you, dude. Nate sent me access to it as well. I think it's interesting, right? An AI kind of guided betting tool. I'm very interested to see how well it does, how much detail it picks up on. And to be frank, a good portion of betting is like a gut feel type thing too. So I don't know if a computer is ever going to figure that out, but I'm damn interested to see. That's for sure.
Any assistance. Give me the assist for it. That's all I need.
We'll take any help we can get. Absolutely. All righty. So let's move on to the next 1 o'clock game here. We got Steelers at Falcons. Falcons are favored by 3 at -110 either way. Over or under is 43 points. Money line would be Steelers +130, Falcons -155. We did not make a money line bet either way, or a over under or point spread or money line bet on this either way, because it's too close a game. It's a toss up, 3-point spread. Vegas thinks it's a close game. I think it's a close game. We've got two entirely different, quarterbacks under center for these teams. So who knows how these teams are going to look, how these offenses are going to look. But Gary does have a good bet here that we could pivot to instead. What do you got for this one?
Yeah, reciting what we had the last time we did this at the beginning of July. I mean, basically, you're looking at TJ Watt at +450 for the sack leader, as we mentioned, but you might as well go ahead and get TJ Watt +750 was what it was. It's now down to +550, and that's for Defensive Player of the Year. So people are making that bet. Odds are changing.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Enough people have made that bet that it's going down a little bit. They're adjusting because it's a likely thing to happen. Like we mentioned earlier, sacks leader 3 out of the last 4 years. If he stays healthy, he's a 20 sack guy. How many players are there in the league that can do that right now? Not many, right? So yeah, that's a solid bet.
Yeah, and it's still +550. So that's definitely anything on the plus side. Yeah, anything on the plus side.
Yeah, we'll take it. So yeah, more to be revealed on that. I'm sure we'll have some better Steelers and Falcons bets for you this season, but I just don't know right now. And quite frankly, if we're not sure about it or don't have a good feeling about it, we're not going to recommend it because accountability, credibility, accuracy are important to us. So that's how we're going to approach it. All righty, moving on to the next one, 1 o'clock game, Panthers at Saints, divisional matchup. Saints are favored by 4.5. Over under is 40.5 points at -110 either way. If you went money line, it's Panthers +180, Saints -218. First time we looked at this, we said we want the over 40.5 points because that's a lower over under. That's pretty low for Vegas, and this is totally doable. Since then, I've looked at a few more numbers. And last season, the Saints were scoring 23.6 points per game. The Panthers, 13.9 points per game. But since then, the Panthers have also added several offensive pieces, Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Brooks. I know Jonathan Brooks won't be available week 1, but the point is they've made adjustments to their offense. They knew it was a weakness, and they addressed it in the offseason. And this is also the second year of Bryce Young. He's going to be obviously a little bit better. So if you add that up, 23.6 and 13.9, we just need another field goal somewhere, and we're past 40.5 points. And I think we can totally get that. So I'm still going to say over 40.5 for our bet on this one. What do you got on this one, Gary?
Let's see. That we're talking Panthers Saints.
Yes, sir.
Well, then it's got to be Kool-Aid, brother. Because Kool-Aid McKinstry, we talked about him back in the futures. And the reason I'm really bringing this up is just to kind of show what John had said a little bit. You take advantage of the odds when you get them. And just, 3-4 weeks ago, Kool-Aid McKinstry was under. We was going under on Kool-Aid McKinstry at 1.5 interceptions for the simple fact is the guy's not even a starter, wasn't then. Now I think he's banged up and hurt, but he's not listed as a starter. So he's not even going to get the opportunity. When you look at Paulson, Taylor, and of course, Lattimore, he's not replacing any of them right now on his rookie year. He's not that good. These guys they're veterans. They know what they're doing. So anyways, that line has changed from plus 120 at that time down to 125. So that's one of those situations. It was a good time to take advantage of it. People have caught on when he wasn't listed or being talked about as a starter, so they're betting against him. So it's all opportunity.
That's such a good point, man. I'm glad you brought that up. That's so true. Because if you had bet this thing 3 weeks ago, you would have gotten it at plus money at plus 120, and now it's minus 125. It's a negative bet, and we don't like those. We don't like those. It's not a good way to make money.
Not really.
Vegas has caught on that he's not going to be a starter, and there's probably not going to be enough playing time for this thing to happen. So they've adjusted the price on us. So we hope you took advantage of that a few weeks ago. All righty. Next 1 o'clock game. Sorry, last 1 o'clock game for week 1 is Vikings at Giants. And yeah, a few things have happened here since last time we spoke as well that have changed things. So it's Giants are favored by 1 right now, minus 110. Over or under is 41.5 points, minus 110 either way. If you went money line, it's Vikings minus 108, Giants minus 112. We originally said no bet. We have, it's basically a toss up minus, 1 point spread. Who knows? Vegas doesn't know, right? That's apparent just by reading the spread there. But since then, we found out that Sam Darnold will be the starter since JJ McCarthy is out for the season. And I think that changes things quite a bit, enough that I'm going to say Vikings money line for this bet. Darnold's a veteran. I think this is probably the best set of weapons he's ever had. Yep, I know he played on San Fran, but he didn't play much. Wasn't a starter. He's going to be a starter for the Vikings with Justin Jefferson and all the other spectacular weapons they have there. And the Giants, while they have an excellent defense, do not really possess much of an offense. So I think Vikings money line is how I would change my approach with the new information for this one.
Gotcha.
All righty. And that takes us to the first 4 o'clock game, which is Raiders at Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3, over under 43.5. If you went money line, it's Raiders plus 142, Chargers minus 170. We originally said Raiders money line, and I have not changed my mind at all. In fact, I feel more comfortable about it a few weeks later. So since the last time we talked about this, we've now found out Gardner Minshew will be under center. He may not be as good for Devontae Adams as Aiden O'Connell is, but he's a proven winner. He's exponentially more experienced, and he's got a better chance to win the game, I think, and that's why Las Vegas made him the starter. So I feel real good about that. I feel better about it than I did 3 weeks ago, and I felt pretty good then. So love that. You got anything on this one?
Nah, man, roll. Give them the good info.
All right, sounds good. Right. So before we get to the rest of the 4 o'clock games here, don't forget that you can get a free ring with the purchase of a trophy or belt at Trophy Smack. Trophy Smack has fully customizable belts and rings for all your fantasy needs. We only have a few more days till the start of the season, so head over to trophysmack.com now. Use the promo code IDP guys to get a free championship ring with the purchase of a custom trophy or belt. That is at trophysmack.com.
Told you it was good.
All righty. So let's pick it back up with another 4 o'clock game here. Broncos at Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 4.5 at minus 110. Over or under of 42.5 points. If you went money line, it's Broncos plus 170, Seahawks minus 205. Originally, a few weeks ago, we said Seahawks money line. Nothing has really changed my mind on that. If anything, I feel better about it because since that point, we found out that Bo Nix will be the starter for Denver, a rookie in his first ever NFL start against a pretty good Seahawks defense. I feel like that's a done deal. That should be as close to a lock as we can get in the world of betting. So no change.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing what Maffe's sack line is going to be this game with Nick's back here. Deer in the headlights, right?
Exactly. Yep. Deer in the headlights. That is true. Yep, pretty good stuff there. That takes us to Cowboys at Browns, another 4 o'clock game. It's essentially a pick 'em. It's a toss up. Browns are favored by 1, over under of 44.5 points. If you want money line, it's Cowboys -108, Browns -112. Our original bet on this was over 44.5 points. I'm gonna come off that. I'm gonna change off that. I'm gonna say no bet. I'm gonna say stay the hell away from this. So a few weeks ago, we were assuming that CD was going to sign pretty quickly, get some practice in, work on that connection with Dak, and we'd have the same old Cowboys offense that was the 3rd overall passing offense in the league last year and was top 10 for overall offense last year. But that's not what happened. Jerry Jones waited till the last goddamn second to sign CD Lamb, and he's had no practice with Dak whatsoever. And Sam Williams also is gone for the entire season since then. So things have gotten worse for Dallas. And, Cleveland is, when you think of Cleveland, you don't really think of a great offensive team. You think of a great defensive team. So I don't know if we get over 44.5 points anymore. So I'm going to pivot to just stay the hell away.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, there's always Zeke.
Yeah, I do love Zeke. I got his jersey.
I do too, man. It's too bad he got kind of broke down there.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude. He's done his thing for Dallas, no doubt. Alrighty, so we got one more 4 o'clock game here. It's Washington Commanders at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 3.5. The over under is 41.5 points at -110 either way. If you went money line, it's Commanders +154 or Buccaneers -185. We had originally said Tampa Bay money line at -185 with a high degree of confidence. I have no changes to that whatsoever. So when we look at the points per game from last year, it's a 2 points per game difference, which is what we need. We need enough of a difference that money line's going to hit, and we've got that. And last year's points per game was a Washington team with a far more experienced quarterback with more weapons at wide receiver. Since then, they've lost Curtis Samuel. They just got rid of Dotson in a trade. They really just have Terry McLaurin, and that's it kind of for pass catching options at the moment. Yeah, I feel, the same or better about this. Washington has gone backwards and Tampa Bay has gone forwards. Tampa Bay has a healthy Chris Godwin back in the slot playing his favorite position. I feel really good about this. No change whatsoever. So I'm sticking with Tampa Bay.
And I'm sticking with Droy candidate Jared Verse at +1100. With the Ernest Jones being traded away, the amount of time that this rookie should have on the field every game should start out probably 75-80% of the snaps. He's going to have every opportunity in the world to prove that he is who they thought he was, if you want to put it that way. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit and keep that +1100 for a little bit of a deeper bet. But I also wanted to mention that your pick was Latitude, if I said it right, for the Colts.
Oh, yeah.
Even close?
Yeah.
I think he's at +550, and I have to agree. He's still a good, solid bet, man. It's right up there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's favored.
Right, and that's changed a little bit too. So since last time we spoke, Ebukam gone for the season, right? So our biggest concern with Latu was he going to get enough playing time? That's not a concern anymore. He has to get the playing time now. So yeah, feel good about that.
Yeah, and they have a you might see Tyquan Lewis, I believe is his name. He's been there about 4 years. He's been a big promise guy for 4 years, hurt every year. He's not going to last long. He ain't going to. It's not that he's going to get hurt. He's going to get passed on the depth chart by this kid.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yep. So yeah, some movement in the D-Roy picks we made a few weeks ago. So interesting there. I'm with you on that. I like the Jared Verse one. That is in regards to the Rams at Lions, which is the Sunday night game for Week 1. Lions are favored by 3. At home, over under of 51 points. That's a huge over under. If we went money line, it's Rams +140, Lions -166. We had originally said no bet on this one because it was a tightly contested game last season that could have gone either way in the playoffs, and it feels like the exact same thing right now. So I have no idea how this one's going to go. And when you have no idea, you don't bet it. So we're skipping it. Alrighty. And that takes us to Monday night. So to round out week 1, we got Jets at 49ers in California. Niners are favored by 5.5 at -110. Over or under of 45.5 points at -110 either way. If we went money line, Jets +200, 49ers -245. We said under 45.5 the first time we talked about this. I'm still okay with that. So if we look at this a little bit deeper, this is the number 8 and number 3 overall defenses from last season, respectively, Jets and Niners. So the same rationale as the KC Baltimore game. Scoring is down in general. It's gone down every single season since 2020. Outdoor games in general have fewer points per game. We've seen that the last 10 seasons consecutively. This is an outdoor game. Aaron Rodgers, hasn't played a regular season snap in almost 2 years. And the 49ers may not have Brandon Ayuk. All that is a pretty good recipe for a defensive struggle in my mind. So I'm going to stick with the under 45.5.
Oh, yeah. And we've also talked about Fred Warner over 125.5 combined tackles at -110 is still a good bet. Nick Bosa at +900 was your value pick for the sack leader. And I mean, Nick Bosa at a value pick, you got to get a little bit of that, right? I mean, he's down the board a little bit. And of course, I skipped. I want to mention it because, I'm glad we're kind of finishing it with Levante David, man. Me and you are both really good, big fans of this veteran, man. He is just a killer dude year in, year out. I don't care if he is 45 years old. He's going to kick some ass this year because he's pretty well he's the middle of the defense without Devin White there anymore. Right. And this KJ Britt, there's a big questions mark. So we expect him to go ahead and beat this just like we thought at the beginning at +5,000 value for the tackles and assists. That's a big bet. And then at the same time, you also go over 120.5 combined tackles at -110 too.
Right. For the season. I agree completely. So Levante is in a great situation to crush all that. Mm-hmm. And then circling back to what we were talking about with the Niners and Fred Warner, no Dre Greenlaw for God knows how long, couple months, right?
Right. Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be Fred Warner. He's gonna be the guy for a while, soaking up all that production. So I like that as well. Beautiful, good stuff. So hey, I'm glad we did this, man, because a lot of shit changed since the last time we talked about this. So I'm glad we got a better kind of read on this, closer to week 1. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be doing this weekly in season. We'll cover all these bets for you guys, the team bets, the money lines, the over unders, and then I'm sure Gary will always have some good IDP props for you. But any announcements or anything for the listeners there, Gary?
Oh, man, we got a hell of a lineup over here at IDP Plus Bets. On YouTube, I'm telling you, we've got your Money League Best Ball. We got DFS Live on Sundays. We've got an offensive prop show with Sebastian, our main dude, Doc, the DGen. He's going to be going live on Thursday nights. And he's going to be doing your Thursday takes and everything. And then he's going to throw in after that, he's going to go ahead and cover the rest of the weekend offensive props that he has for us. So make sure you check that out. And then we got a couple of guys, Johnny freaking Fantasy Football, a good buddy of mine, and Axton Harding, a good buddy of mine. They're going to be taking on the IDP Props show on Friday night. Hell of a lineup. I'm probably forgetting somebody. Oh, how about Billy? Billy in the college bets, man. 3 and 4, week 0. The only one that he didn't hit was his longest shot. The other 3 were all plus money payoffs. So check out our lineups. We've got a huge amount of shit coming at you this year, and we're going to win you some money. I'm not kidding. Right here on the money line. You come in, check it out. You're going to find out what this 85% freaking percentage is about Johnny owns.
Yeah. I hope I get that close. But yeah, you're right, man. We're gonna absolutely waterboard people with content this year. That's just a little inside joke
Yep.
right there. But
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
everyone for listening. Good luck. Get those bets in. We'll be back before you know it. We'll be doing this weekly in season. Thank you all for listening. Good luck with your drafts, everyone. Have a good week, and we'll catch you at the next one. Take care. Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.